For me, I saw the highly anticipated Tron Ares the other day, and I want to get into my thoughts of the movie, and it's probably not going to be what you think it's going to be. Stick around, let's talk about it.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
What's up, everybody? It's Rad. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm back with another video. And I know that the channel is not necessarily movie reviews, although I have done a couple in the past. I have to do a review or discussion regarding the new Tron Ares movie that came out, I think last Thursday. So far, I have seen so many horrible reviews from channels that I follow. Now, I will say this, that a lot of these channels, they are movie review channels. So these individuals that run these YouTube channels, I guess, are experts in the field, right? I mean, they understand the directors, they understand the cinematography, they understand the writing, they understand the acting. I get it. So typically their opinions really matter to me in this. However, I'm a huge Tron fan, so I knew I was going to see it regardless. Then Roth went and saw it before I did, and he loved it. Now, I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, and I'm also a huge Daft Punk fan. So I knew the music was going to be good. Still, though, I'm surprised, because the old YouTube algorithm seems to feed me more and more Tron videos. So hopefully it feeds this video out to you all. But 9 times out of 10, the reviews that I've seen is that the movie is terrible, it's horrible, it sucks, and I don't agree. I don't think so at all. Is it the best movie ever made? No, but it's a really good movie. So I'm going to do a little B-Rabbit right now, and I'm going to hit up all the things that the bad things that the other reviewers are saying about the movie. So I'm going to just get those out of the way. A lot of these reviewers talk about the just the Disney curse, and I'll agree. Disney has screwed up a lot of movies over the last 10 years. When they started screwing up Marvel, they completely screwed up Star Wars. So I get it. But I haven't watched a new Marvel movie in I don't know how long. I have not watched any of the new Star Wars. It's just not my thing. I'm into the originals. So I haven't really watched them, not even the newer one when Han Solo dies. I mean, I saw the scene, but haven't really watched that movie. So I get it. They have messed up a lot. And with the culture over the last several years, I know what Disney has done. They have put their agendas into a lot of the stories, which I don't agree that they do that. So I believe a lot of these reviewers are coming from that standpoint of they've just got an axe to grind with Disney to begin with. I will say this, that Tron was an original Disney movie in 1982. So it's always been Disney. It's just that the people that run Disney now are not the same as back then. So B-Rabbit, right? So there were a lot of girl bosses is what they were saying. And white man, evil white man, and powerful lead woman character. So there are 3 women roles. There is I gotta check my notes because I forget, Eve Kim. She's the new owner of Incom, or not the owner, I'm sorry, the CEO of Incom. Then you have Athena, which is a program, a Dillinger program. And then you have Dillinger's mom, who is a former CEO of the company. So yeah, are they 3 women? Yes, but I don't say they're girl boss roles. I will say this: I'm gonna get a little spicy on this one. So you have people looking at it that way. I look at it. I look at it completely, from 1,000 foot above. But there could be, especially in 2025, when you got a lot of soy people out there that get their feelings hurt super easily, they could say that Athena was the angry black woman trope, right? They could say that the the smartest person in the movie was an Asian, right? So I haven't heard anybody say that, and it shouldn't be said because it would be absolutely ridiculous. But to me, that's how ridiculous some of these reviews are about the women roles in there, and that. So with that out of the way, other ones were saying that they just don't go together. It's not a continuation of Tron Legacy. It's not. I think that's honestly what we all wanted, but that's not what we got. But I'll save to the end. I see a bigger picture with the fact that Disney has talked about doing at least 2 more Tron movies, and depending on how this one does, and you may think that the current box office is showing that it's doing really bad, and it is. The people watching the movie, though, overall are giving it good reviews. So Disney's got deep pockets, and hopefully they will take everything that they left out in Tron Ares and put it into the next Tron movie, and they have an opportunity to really close the franchise out with a bang if of course they are going to close it out. So there were people talking about that nothing ties into one another, or everything doesn't make any sense, and that's not the case. So obviously the original Tron was 1982, and I've got some notes as well. I'm looking down. So you have Kevin Flynn, which is Jeff Bridges, who is a game programmer, creates games, and he works for Incom. Bruce Boxleitner's characters, Alan Bradley, was the CEO or the co-founder, and they had hired Ed Dillinger Sr. Now, Jeff Bridges had his character inside the grid. Alan's character inside the grid was actually Tron, right? And Ed Dillinger was Sark, which was the master control program inside the grid, right? So that's kind of that in a nutshell. And then they battle that out. Now, we didn't get Tron Legacy until 2010. So all of those years later, we got Tron Legacy. And 2010 was a great year, right? It was before Disney really took over Marvel, or I think actually before they took over Marvel, before they took over Star Wars, or around that time. So the Tron Legacy was kind of a different thing that they could do, that they can put their magic behind. And I will say that Tron Legacy was absolutely amazing, but it did not do that well in the box office at the time. It got a lot of negative reviews at the time. People tend to forget about that. You had people that were doing the same thing that they're doing to Ares now, but over time, the movie made a lot of money. Now, it doesn't seem like they're gonna, Ares is gonna catch up to what Legacy did, but I'm looking at my phone here. So the Tron Legacy on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'll put this up on the screen, had a 51% tomato meter and a 64% popcorn meter, which means 64% of the people who watched it was favorable. As of right now, Tron Ares is 54% tomato meter, which is the critics, and an 87% popcorn meter, right? So it's doing well by the numbers, and that's what movie studios actually look at, is to see how the audience received it. So despite having tons of bad YouTube review videos out right now, overall, people like it, including myself. I really liked it. So let's continue with the story. So in Tron Legacy, in the beginning in the boardroom, you have a brief picture of Cillian Murphy. He's not even credited in the movie, but he's Ed Dillinger Jr. So now you're like, okay, Dillinger, aka Sark from the first movie, has a son. He's a programmer, and he's in the boardroom scene, and they're about to launch Incom's new OS 12 software. That's of course when Sam, comes in, hacks it, puts it out, and then parachutes off the building, right? So what most people don't realize is that when the DVD came out, or the movie was in 2012, when the Blu-ray came out, this Blu-ray right here, there was a little hidden gem on the back that's on this disc, it's a short film, a 10-minute short film called Tron the Next Day. It came out in 2011 and they put it on the Blu-ray only. So what that does is it explains what happens next and how the Flynn Lives movement comes about. Flynn Lives is something that you'll see postered up and stuff in the new Tron Ares. So it does a little bit of that. It has Bruce Boxleitner in there, Alan Bradley. It's got Sam Flynn in there doing some more stuff, kind of doing a little background from 82 to 89 when Kevin Flynn disappears again, which they pick up on in Legacy of, hey, he disappeared in 1989, kind of what happened to him. So it's really good. It shows some espionage or potential stuff going on with NCOM, and it also hints at a secondary grid. Now, good news is you don't have to go out and buy the Blu-ray. Somebody posted it on YouTube. I'm not going to put it up here due to copyright, but I will put the link in the description box so you can go and watch it after you finish this video. So I will agree that Tron Legacy was just breathtaking because we hadn't seen anything since 1982. So when it came out, the art, the CGI, although Clue, this 15 years ago when CGI and all that wasn't as good as it is today, where Clue, you can tell he was a little CGI. But other than that, the movie was amazing. Daft Punk had the soundtrack and did all the music, and it was just stunning. The difference between Legacy and Ares is the grid. In Legacy, it is the Flynn grid, is the NCOM grid. In Ares, it is the Dillinger grid. So let's get a little bit finally into, now that we've gone through that, where people say that none of those movies mesh into the third movie. And that's just not the case. So storylines can progress. They can add storylines to the fandom. They didn't go back and change anything. We didn't even know Ed Dillinger had a son, Ed Dillinger Jr., until he was clipped in the boardroom in Legacy, right? So now you have Elizabeth Dillinger, which is the daughter, right, of Ed Sr., the sister to Junior. Now, Junior's not in this movie. They're like, well, what happened? Why'd they get rid of him? He was originally written in, and then he was written out. Just like Bruce Boxleitner said that he was never asked to reprise his role as Alan or Tron in the movie. So we get it. They're trying to do a new narrative, introducing new characters. So Elizabeth Dillinger, of course, is played by Gillian Anderson, and her son is Julian, which is Evan Peters, right? So Julian Dillinger is the head of Dillinger Systems. Now, we'd never heard of Dillinger Systems before because Dillinger Sr. was the CEO of NCOM, and he stole code, right, from Kevin Flynn, which is the whole premise of the first Tron movie. So he never really built his own company, right? Elizabeth Dillinger supposedly started Dillinger Systems, and at some point in time, because they are supposed to be the competing tech company to NCOM, the board of directors was like, she's obviously not doing good enough, so we're going to put Julian in charge of it and see where it goes from there. And so the premise of Ares is they are now taking the programs from the grid and bringing them in to the real world. And they're having the problem where they only last 29 minutes before they disappear, right? So there's supposedly this code, it's called the permanence code, that they're able to put in to then make these things last forever. Again, the interesting thing is they are not in the NCOM grid. Apparently Dillinger Systems created their own grid, and that's where we pick up on the roles of the characters. You have Ares, which Ares, which I understand a lot of people don't like Jared Leto. I'm not necessarily a fan of his, just for his personal life, right? He's not a bad actor, but just personally, you see and you hear the things about him, and he's just a little odd. And I'll just leave it there. And then and apparently this girl that played Athena, Jodie Turner Smith, she was in one of the Star Wars ones. I think even my oldest told me about that one. and it was just horrible. So they put her in, and so sometimes Disney, unfortunately, has this thing with sometimes putting characters in, like, we're going to force this character down your throat to put her in or put him in this movie when they could have probably selected somebody else. I'll say this about Ares is he is the one that Jared Leto, meaning not Ares. Jared Leto has spearheaded this project. Disney shelved it. From what I hear, he even put in a lot of his own money or some of his own money to get this going. So, again, we're not talking about the Incom grid. We're talking about the Dillinger grid, which was created, of course, all movies, right? For weapons. We got to create weapons for the military so we can sell them off to the highest bidder. And that's what it was about. That leads me into the music. Everyone was excited about Nine Inch Nails, and then I see these other videos where they're like, yeah, it was all right. Their music wasn't that good. It was okay. I don't agree, because Daft Punk's version in Legacy was alive. It was bright. It was the progression of Flynn's grid and how things had grown, right? And was just spectacular with the white lights and all that stuff, and it reflected that. Ares, or the Dillinger grid, was literally a grid created to create soldiers. So it was dark, it was red, it was gloomy in a way. Wasn't the same. There wasn't a life of people or programs that lived in there like they did or do in the Flynn grid, right? So Nine Inch Nails music played great with that. There's a few songs that he did where he sung in them, and he has another song that kind of made me think it was Gestaffelstein. And if you don't know who that is, you should look him up. Maybe I'll link to one of his videos in there. But it seems like Trent borrowed a little bit from Pursuit from Gestaffelstein, because they have a very similar sound. And in case you're wondering, yes, I already have gotten the Tron 2 set album, and check that out. It's white. So I've listened to it. It's amazing. And so I guess those fans that don't like the movie, you can just look at it like, hey, look, Nine Inch Nails introduced a new album and it comes with a movie, right? So I thought the music was absolutely perfect. And there were a couple scenes where it even seemed like it was a little Daft Punk, but with a darker tone to it. So hopefully that kind of sums everything up for you. There are some subtle differences. Now, other people talk about how they're pissed that Sam Flynn wasn't in it. I agree. But they make references to him right in the very beginning of the movie. And then they end it with another reference to Sam Flynn and Cora, who was the one of the illuminated ones that were in the grid. I forget what they called them. But he alluded to him. Ares alluded to it. So it shows that they've set it up to where they can draw it all in. And then, of course, the end scene is where Julian Dillinger gets sucked into what appears to be an older version of the Dillinger grid. And then he all of a sudden blinks out, the disc pops up, and he blinks to Sark. So it's like the grandfather was Sark. His grandson now is in there and is going to like maybe be the new Sark. So the new villain in a new one. The movie ends with Ares, now with the permanence code in him, searching the world, enjoying life, doing all this type of stuff, but that he's going to seek out Cora and Sam. So I think if Disney gets it right, they had to do the story this way, right? They had to do it this way to create a new narrative and then bring it together with one final movie or maybe two final movies. You notice I didn't mention Eve Kim too much. That's a role in there where, I think the actress did fine. She wasn't a girl boss at all, in my opinion, even though she was the CEO. And just like I said, a lot of people are just really hating on this movie. And There's probably a reason why there's not a lot of numbers in the box office, because people like us sit and watch YouTube. We listen to somebody tell us that something sucks, so we don't go watch it. So I encourage you to go watch it, form your own opinion, because if I would have listened to these people, I would have never went and watched it, and I'm so glad that I did. It was visually stunning. The CGI was top notch. The fight scenes were wonderful. And again, the music with the scenes, even when I listened to the album, it still sounded really good. And I can remember kind of where that scene was at. But it's so much better when you have the visuals of the movie where that song comes into that and just makes it so much better. So again, what say you? What do you think? Have you seen the movie? What are your thoughts? Again, I'm not saying that this is the best movie ever made, but I do not think it's a failure like people are saying online. I think it's a great movie, visually stunning, great music, and Trent Reznor and what's his buddy? I forget. Anyway, Trent Reznor's in there. He's one of the pilots. You can't really tell because he's got a helmet on, but he's even in the movie. So have you seen it? Drop a comment. Let me know. What are your thoughts? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you enjoy it? Or is it okay? And if you've stuck around this far and you like this type of content, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Share it out to your friends that maybe have a different perspective on the movie. And with that said, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.